Solarian Games, third time's a charm. We've been having some technical problems tonight, but as the saying goes, technology is the word for things that just don't work yet.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got some stories, and hopefully people can hear us when we talk about these stories. If you're in the chat, give us a thumbs up if you can hear us. All right, stories for tonight. Gamma prepares for a class action against Diamond Distributors. Popular book series Dungeon Crawler Carl gets a webtoon. The one-page RPG Jam is back for 2025. D&D and a Castle Organizer is going to launch the D&D Dungeon Master University. And Eberron, Forge of the Artificer, has been delayed until December. All right, so let's get into the first one. So we talked last week, maybe the week before. It was recently.
Yeah.
That Diamond Distributors, who originally went into reorganizing bankruptcy, then they went into actually going out of business bankruptcy, said that nobody's getting their stuff back. So just a quick recap on what that means. When a distributor gets their products from somebody, like game designers, their games, their books, etc., they take it basically on consignment, and then they have a choice of how they're going to pay or how they're going to let people know about the things that don't sell. So they can either send everything back if it doesn't sell, or they can rip the covers off and send the covers back saying this is just proof that we didn't sell them, or they can just file an affidavit saying we didn't sell them and you have to trust us. It seems like in this case, their standard contracts seem to be whole returns. So if they send things out to stores, they don't sell it for a certain amount of time, they're supposed to send them back. But in this case, since Diamond went out of business, they are claiming that they get to keep everything. And even worse, just a quick recap here, because they get to keep everything, that means they can also liquidate it by selling it at, dollar stores or wherever. So game publishers could end up in the position of competing against cut rate dollar store versions of their own product that they're not even getting paid for.
Right.
It's a terrible situation all around. We're seeing all kinds of businesses facing trouble with this. We have already seen at least one come out and talk about their own lawsuit. And now Gamma, which is the Games Association Marketers, Gamma, G-A-M-A. I don't know what it stands for. Googly awesome marshmallow apples. It's the gaming association that's been around since the beginning. I believe they still run Origins, right?
I think so.
Who knows? Anyway, because they are really the group that's looking out for the most number of game companies. They are putting together legal action. So they're looking for anybody who had consignment arrangements with Diamond, and they're asking them to go to a Google form, fill out their information so they can basically get what sounds like a class action lawsuit together.
Right.
So here's the basics. I did a little bit of digging around. Sorry, I just looked in the chat to see what some people's ideas were for this. I won't read them off. But anyway, it's a fun one. So the legal theory that Diamond is going under is that when a company like theirs goes out of business, anything that was considered consignment, the only way to protect it is the people who were selling through them have to file a really specific form. It's called the UCC1, Uniform Commercial Code 1. It's a financing statement. It basically says that as a store selling through them, you consider yourself a creditor and that you consider those products to belong to you. The trouble is, you would have had to have done that a while ago. I don't really know when and where. I tried to kind of look around and learn more about it, but basically, it doesn't seem like it's the sort of thing that publishers normally do. I've never done it. We've never done it. With my old company, Permission Magazine, we did distribution for 11 years, we never filed a UCC1. With Gygax magazine, we never filed the UCC1. Almost nobody's ever done one. Partially, it's because, you know, the industry kind of works on trust to a certain extent. You know, your distributor doesn't want to screw you over because they want to keep working with you, and vice versa.
They also they don't want to get a bad reputation of screwing with creators, because if they do that, then they'll lose everybody.
Yeah, exactly. And back in the day, there was competition, so you had to worry about that. A lot of publishers are small businesses. They're indie publishers. They're sending out a couple things. They don't have access to expensive lawyers that are going to tell them to do all this stuff. And so when they see a consignment form, they assume that means consignment. Mm-hmm. Is it Diamond's responsibility to tell people that they should fill one of those out? Legally, no. Morally, heck yes. If you're Diamond distributors, you're big enough to know about this stuff. You have lawyers. Your lawyers have told you at some point, hey, if they don't fill this out, these products become ours if there's ever a bankruptcy. They know this. They knew this. Mm-hmm. They know what kind of people they're dealing with, which is, like we said, small businesses. It's their moral responsibility to say, we know more than you, and we're going to be fair dealers.
Right.
Now, and you know what? Even if it wasn't their responsibility to say it, I think it's their responsibility not to be slimy reptiles crawling in the mud on their bellies and pulling this crap now. So what they're basically saying is, because these vendors or companies didn't file this paperwork, and it's not just filing it once. I mean, there's a bunch of legal costs involved. There's a whole lot of stuff involved in doing it. They're saying, well, they never filled this out, and so we don't have to give them their stuff back. We're going to just disperse with it. And I tried to look around and see if there was any precedent. Like, so basically what Gamma is going to file their lawsuit saying is something probably in a much more legal kind of way of what I just said, right. You know, which is, yeah, maybe technically you can get away with this, but come on, judge, do you really want to allow all these small businesses to get screwed over and some of them to go out of business just because of this technicality? They're hoping the judge will say, yeah, that's fair.
Right.
But I dug around a little bit. I found a few different similar situations. The one that was closest was something that happened in 2002 with a distributor called Valley Media, and they did music distribution. Record labels would, exact same thing. Record labels would send their CDs or albums or whatever, and Valley would distribute them. And Valley went out of business and did the same thing. They kept all the stuff and sold it at a discount bin. It went to court, and the judge ruled against the small record companies. They ruled in favor of the distributor. And they've done that again and again in lots of cases. There was a bunch of legalese in there about how big the deals have to be, whether the creditors know this and that and the other thing. But basically all the examples I could find looked pretty much the same, which was that if the companies selling through them don't file this UCC1 form, they get to keep their stuff. So I hope it works out for everybody. I don't have a lot of hope that it will. I mean, I hope it does. I wouldn't bet on it.
I got you. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. You have hope that it will, but you don't think that hope's going to pan out.
Yeah. And Scott Congable, he has a good point. He said, I would guess that Diamond's creditors want them to liquidate the inventory. Yes. So, in a bankruptcy court, there is generally, I think, okay, I could get this really wrong, but I'll say what I know. There's what are they called? There's somebody who's assigned to basically represent the interests of the creditors. I forget what they're called, but there's a particular legal role that you play where you're not representing the company that went bankrupt. You're representing all the people that are trying to get money out of them.
Right.
So it's entirely possible that particular person is saying, do it this way. And I don't have any moral problem with them saying it, because that's their job. Right. You know, they had no relationship with these companies beforehand. They're just there to get the money. And then I would just fall back on Diamond had a moral responsibility in the first place to say, hey, we're going to make money off of you. We're going to sell your stuff to stores and we're going to make money for doing that, we should tell you all the realities of doing business like this.
Mhm.
You know, in a dog eat dog world, everyone out for themselves, got mine, up yours kind of world. No, they don't have to do it. But in a world where people are actually trying to, you know, operate on trust and be human beings with each other, yeah, they really should have done it.
So I have to wonder. So how does this model even come to be? You know, like why do these distributors? Why does the industry operate this way? Why is it a consignment thing? You know, it's really hard for
it's
like small businesses. They send all this stuff to them, and then it's not like they're selling it, and then you know, and then they could wind up with the stuff coming back to them.
yeah.
I
I mean,
wonder
think
why that
about it.
model
If you're a distributor,
right?
if you're starting a distribution company, do you want to be outlaying all that cash and buying all that inventory and owning it and being responsible for it?
I don't.
And
I get
then,
it, but
yeah. So it basically comes down to the distributor has more power in the relationship than the label or the publisher, and
mhm.
so they get the best deal they can for themselves.
And a distributor, I mean, basically, a distributor is just a company that makes contact with all these people all over the place. They make all the contacts, they set up the infrastructure, and then they store the goods, right? I mean, that's pretty much what they do.
Yeah. Well, the main thing is if you've got, let's say, 1,000 stores across the United States,
Yes.
and those stores are dealing with, I don't know, call it a couple hundred publishers.
Right.
The stores are small businesses too. They don't have the resources to do individual deals with 200 different publishers.
Right.
They want to deal with one distributor and they say, here's the catalog of stuff. What do you want to have? We'll send it to you. And those individual small publishers also don't have the wherewithal to go out and talk to 1,000 stores. It's just the distributor makes fulfills a really important role. You know, I think without a distributor, it would be almost impossible for small businesses like stores and publishers to connect with each other.
You know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like you could have a web service that would do that, something like how we have Shopify, like a one step up from Shopify, where it would connect all the Shopify stores together, and then if people in, you know, brick and mortar stores want to order stuff, they go to this one site and they can find all the stuff that they want to order, and then they order it.
Yeah, but you're still going to have people involved there. The stuff has to, you cannot have, at least in my opinion, if you set something up like that and you called it all drop shipping, right? So you, rather than storing, you say, we're not going to have a warehouse. We're not going to keep it. When somebody orders it, the publisher is going to mail it directly to the store. How do you know the publisher is going to send it on time? How do you know that they're going to pack it well? How do you know that they're going to send what you asked for? Or it's a logistical nightmare. No matter if you had the most perfect AI in the middle of it running everything, it would still be difficult.
And you would get boxes with 7 fingers.
Yeah.
No, I get it. It's like, it's one of those things, like there's no easy solution to this, right? It's a hard business. There's a lot of work. There's, you know, and stuff like this can happen. It's just a shame because, you know, I guess Diamond became almost a monopoly, right? I mean,
basically
they're almost a monopoly, right?
Well, I mean, you've still got Alliance out there. Right. I think ACD is gone. If they're not in a monopoly position, they are in a 800-pound gorilla position.
Right.
So I think here's what I think the sad outcome of this is going to be. It's just an acceleration of the move to everything on Amazon. I hate that because I want to go to my friendly local game store. I want to hang out there. I want to play with people. I want to see the owner who knows stuff. But
you know, I should have asked the store owner that I'm friends with. I went down last week when me and David went down to his store. We were talking about this a little bit. I should have asked him, hey, what does this mean for your store? Like, where are you going to buy your stuff now?
Yeah.
If you can't buy it from Diamond, where do you buy it from?
I'm sure there's still.
No, I'm sure there are. I'm just saying I could have had that answer tonight if I'd asked him.
Oh yeah. Well, I just hope somebody fills the void and it doesn't just end up becoming something where Jeff Bezos says, I know, we'll add another service to Amazon. And they'll
Yeah.
now be a distributor.
Yeah. Ugh, gross.
Although they'd probably be good at it. I hate to say it.
Yeah, it's a shame. It probably would work.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next one.
All right. Take it away.
All right. So there's a popular book series that I've never heard of before, but
I've been hearing it all over the place.
Okay, so it's called Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Yeah.
And apparently Dungeon Crawler Carl gets a webtoon. And I went to the webtoon site, and so basically it's a web comic, right? You scroll up, and there's no animation that I saw because I went through the first 2 issues. There's no animation I saw, but there's music and stuff. And
it's pretty neat what they did. I mean, it's a little anime looking, but then again, the site that it's on is very anime focused.
Yeah, there's a lot of anime.
It's not a web comic, right? Like web comics are those indie things where somebody publishes once a week and it's 3 panels. This is kind of more like taking a print comic, putting it on the web, and then taking advantage of the medium to do things that you couldn't do in print.
Right.
Like throwing some music in and having cool scrolls. It's, first of all, the artwork that we have up here right now, I'm not into that style, but it's awesome.
Yeah. It's great. It's not my favorite style of art, but it's good. I mean, the art is good. It's very good. And it was throughout. Like you didn't have some places where it was good or bad, where it was all good. It was all this quality.
Yeah. Well, so like I said, I've been hearing about this book for at least a couple of years now. There's a whole series. A lot of people, they hear the kind of stuff that I like, and they're like, oh, you're going to like Dungeon Crawler Carl. Right. And I haven't taken them up on it yet because I looked at the covers and I was like, I'm going to judge a book by the cover. And I don't think it's for me. But for this story, I decided I'll go ahead and I'll listen to the audiobook. So grab the audiobook and listen to it. And first of all, I want to give a big caveat. It's a genre called lit RPG. Have you heard of that?
Yes, I have. Yes, I've read a couple. It's not my favorite genre. It depends on who's doing it. In my opinion, it's hard to do good.
Well, let's explain
hard to do well.
Let's explain it then.
Okay, so lit RPG. It's literature that is strongly based within an RPG, and a lot of times it's self-aware about the RPG aspect of it. So as you're reading it or listening to it or whatever, it's very clear that there is an RPG behind all this. Like for one of the ones that I'm actually kind of a fan of was called NPCs, and it's
nothing to do with the movie, I'm assuming.
No, I guess not. No,
there's a movie. I think it's called NPCs. It was one of the best movies I've seen in the past 5 years.
Well, it was
somebody finds out they're an NPC in a video game. It's very cool.
All right, no, well, this is. I mean, they don't find out they're NPCs in a role-playing game, but they are. And
it's called Free Guy. I'm sorry, Free Guy.
Free Guy. Oh yeah, Free Guy. Sorry, yeah. Free Guy was good. I saw Free Guy, but it's kind of like, I mean,
Free Guy would kind of be lit RPG,
sort of,
because the movie is based on the premise that he discovers that he's in a game. He didn't know that before, and we, the audience, get it. We understand that there's game rules involved, right?
Yeah. So in this one in particular, as you're going through it, it's like they're like, at least in the comic, because I was reading the comic version, I didn't listen to the book, but they have like blocks where they would have like, they weren't exactly stat blocks, but it was explaining goblins or blah blah blah.
Oh God, it's terrible in the book. I shouldn't give it away so soon.
Yeah.
Okay, but let me just say this: if you like lit RPG, I think, I'm just assuming here that the reason people who like that genre like it is because it sort of gives you the feeling of playing a game while you're reading a book. Yeah. So if that's kind of what you're going for. But I should point out, lit RPG is very different from novelizations of games. So like the Warhammer 40K novels, those are proper literature, and they're actually, some of them are really good.
Yeah, that's not lit RPG.
Gord the Rogue, all of Gary Gygax's books about the Greyhawk, those are books. David Benavides in the chat says the D&D cartoon. I would say that kind of, you could go either way with that.
Yeah, I think the premise of it would be like lit RPG, but then once you get past the fact that they're in that world, it almost stops, because it's basically, then it's just telling the story. Like it doesn't. I mean, I don't know. Actually, no, because they talk to Dungeon Master. They are trying to get back to their world, so maybe.
Yeah, I'm gonna say we
Yeah,
could
maybe.
retcon that as being an early example of that RPG. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Good call,
Yeah.
David.
But here's the thing. I wasn't thinking about it as lit RPG when I decided to listen to the book or read the book. Um, First thing, one of the worst narrators I've ever heard in my life. So I
Oh, that's
have to
always
discount
bad.
that. It was somebody making I'm Carl and I fight things and shit, poop, bugger, pee pee, poop, poop. A lot of the book is just filled with the most pathetic swearing you've ever heard. It is just
Oh,
13-year-old kind of like, it's just terrible.
I got
Um,
that vibe.
the book itself, I'm going to say it definitely gives me a Ready Player One vibe.
Hmm.
I get it. So this was self-published, and then Ace Books picked it up, and I think Ace Books was like, "Hey, we could have another Ready Player One on our hands."
Nope.
Well, I'll say this: he's a better writer than Ernest Cline, but
Oh,
that's
wow.
kind of like saying mud tastes better than poop.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm not want to eat either one of those,
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, the book begins with a really blatant ripoff of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah.
It has not the end of the world, but an end of the world.
Mhm.
And there's this bureaucratic thing comes in and tells him, just like the Vogons. I thought that was a little lame. I assume the authors read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but
You think?
based on the rest of the book, I'm not sure this author has ever had a life experience that involved leaving his basement.
Yeah,
It's
possibly.
pathetic. It's pathetic. It is one of the worst things I've ever read.
Good. I'm glad you didn't like it because I was going to say, I was hoping we wouldn't argue about this because I didn't like it either.
No, I mean, the dialogue is all kind of at the level that you would expect to hear if you were sitting on a MMORPG and people were talking on, Xbox Live or something. It's just lots of teenager swearing level of dialogue. According to the description of this, it's filled with hilarious antics and slapstick comedy and great action. That is a lie.
That's a lie.
That's a lie. It doesn't make any sense. The whole thing is just some guy going through a dungeon, having to fight things, and it's frankly, I mean, considering that it's supposed to be all about fighting in a video game and everything else, it's incredibly boring.
Yeah, I thought so.
There's no characterization. There's no characters.
Really?
It's just kind of sad. It's kind of sad. And I was surprised because there's a particular booktuber that I follow who said, "Hey, I didn't think I was going to like this." And I ended up reading all the books. And I was like, okay, maybe there's a chance. No.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe if the webtoon's better, maybe I should read it just because it could be an improvement.
I mean, you can look at it. There's not a lot to read, though. That was one of my complaints, was that there's almost nothing to read. It just goes from scene to scene to scene to scene. And a lot of times you can kind of figure out what's going on, but there's almost nothing. Like they'll exchange words and it'll be like 4 words here, 5 words there, But I will tell you, there was on one page, it really took me out of the whole thing. And I was like, oh,
What was it?
It was unnecessary. So there's this one comment where this box pops up and it's explaining these goblins that are attacking it.
Right.
Goblin engineers. And this is
you should read this line. It is that cringeworthy that you need to read it.
Yeah, I'm going to read this. I copied it down just so I could read it because anyway, it's unnecessary. So it says goblin engineers, the incels of the goblin world. They have a hard time finding a date, which makes them extra angry. If there are any females in your party, they will attack them first. I'm like, that is so divisive.
Well, it is. It is totally.
And it's kind of childish.
But I mean, I don't mind divisive things. That's fine, Right. But at least be good at it.
Yeah.
It's just pathetic. It locks this book in a very specific point in time, because I don't think 10 years from now anybody's going to be using the word incel. I mean, that world might still exist, but we'll have new words, all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, all the way throughout, it was filled with, all right, so the just like in Ready Player One, where he keeps describing the freaking UI for some reason, in this one, he thinks there's something really interesting about telling you what the UI looks like and that you're going to care as a reader. And so he keeps describing that there was even a little Xbox, a little X to close the box, and it came up here, and there were menus, and there were this. And I'm like, why would this have the same interface as Windows 98?
Right.
I don't get it.
Exactly.
I don't get any of this. Why would this advanced alien civilization that built this use UI conventions from the 1990s?
It's a lot like, I always get angry at sci-fi shows that will have controls that are like today controls.
Oh, I know. Every sci-fi show
pisses
you
me
watch
off.
right now, and I'm going to pick on The Expanse, and you can, because the books I'm sure are better, but they all have smartphones. Why in the world that far advanced would you still be carrying around a physical smartphone?
I hadn't thought of it because they were pretty cool smartphones.
Cool
but you're
smartphone.
right. No, but you're absolutely right. Why would they have smartphones?
It reminds me
we're
when
not
you
going to have smartphones.
Yeah, you watch science fiction from the 60s, and they're on their spaceship. They're reading a newspaper.
Yeah.
They're smoking a cigarette.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, so this book, it just, like you said, it just sort of jumps from scene to scene to scene to scene. There's nothing that goes through it. And okay, this is going to be a weird comparison, but it reminded me of a particular Jerry Lewis movie, The Bellboy.
Oh my God, I haven't seen that in a million years.
Okay, so The Bellboy, just to remind you of what's going on here. So anybody who knows about Jerry Lewis, he would just do silly things. He pulls crazy faces. He's like Jim Carrey or something, right? And at the beginning of the movie, there's this little scene where a Paramount executive comes and talks to the camera. Like, it's an actor, right? But and he's like, I'm head of Paramount, and I just wanted to tell you this movie is not like anything you've ever seen. There's no plot, there's no story. It's just going to be a series of silly scenes going from one to another. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Have a fun time. And to be fair, when Jerry Lewis is funny, he's really funny. But the entire movie is just one gag after another. It is 2 hours of sight gags. And there literally is no plot. There's no anything. And it's painful to watch. I mean, maybe it was funny in 1959, but it is painful to watch.
Yeah, I can
imagine. That was like what that was to comedy. This is to lit RPG. This is the Jerry Lewis of literature.
The bad Jerry Lewis.
Jerry Lewis. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's squash it. Hey, if you like Dungeon Crawler Carl, we're not trying.
Hey, there's a webtoon for fans of Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Yeah, we're not
book, and you should read it. There's a webtoon.
We're not paying on you. If you like it, then great.
No, absolutely. Let people enjoy things. If somebody says they love this, I 100% endorse them loving it. You should love things. Yeah. I like to drink Clamato.
Ooh.
So yeah, people can like things, but I ain't gonna like it.
I have friends who hate Scrapple.
Yeah, some people are just wrong.
Yeah, right, exactly. All right, let's go to the next one. This one's cool. This is a good story. We like this one.
Okay, so next story here. This is actually good. I 100% am going to participate in this.
Good. Oh, is it going to be Mirror Shades?
No, because I didn't write it.
Oh, got it. Yep.
Yeah.
Nope, I didn't think about that. You're right.
So, all right. So this is the one-page RPG Jam. There's a couple of cool things like this that happen every year. The other one is Zine Quest, which is also awesome. So in the one-page RPG Jam, you have to make your RPG fit on one page. You have it's actually started last week. It started Monday, right after our last show, so we didn't have time to talk about it until now. But don't worry, it goes until the 17th of August. This is the 6th year. There have been over 2,000 games created in its 6 years, which is really cool. A lot of these have gone on to become bigger games. They actually made more stuff out of it. Games like 11th Beast, which it was ENnie nominated, A Perfect Rock by Deep Dark Games. Lots of cool stuff like that. So this has a theme. So this year, the theme, you don't have to follow the theme. And honestly, when I say what the theme is, I think any RPG would fit this theme.
Yeah.
But this year's theme is growth. So, which, I mean, look, you grow as a character in an RPG. So I think you can kind of attach that to anything. But I bet there's a lot of people that are coming up with some neat things. I had been, sorry about the coughing, folks. I had been thinking about taking a game I'm already working on and just doing a one-page RPG, but there's a bunch of ideas running around in my head. I'm trying to think, is there anything where you could do sort of a Katamari Damacy tabletop RPGs, something where if your character advances too much, they just get too big and there's no room to do anything and they can't get out of the dungeon.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I honestly just started thinking about it today, but no matter what it is, I'm going to do something. So you can do it on a letter piece of paper, letter-sized paper, if you're in the United States. If you're in somewhere overseas that uses the A4 sizes, you can use an A4. And you can even do an index card if you want. Remember when we were at Rising Phoenix, one of our co-panelists had written some index card games.
Yeah. Oh, and we were down at Game Face. That person had didn't we run into a game that was on a bookmark?
Oh yeah. I was going to say on a cassette tape, but those were just music for it.
Right.
But yeah, there's a lot of things you can do, and you can take that page and you can fold it in different ways if you want to. You can do whatever you want. It just has to fit on one page.
They did say, I did see somewhere in there, they said that you can have, as long as the game itself fits on one page, you can have extra content on the back.
Okay. I didn't read that part, but that's fair.
So you could have all the rules and like have the whole game and stuff. But then if you're like, and there's this information about the world or something, I think pretty sure you can have some more information on the back.
Well, I mean,
yeah, here it is. It says right here, it says core rules fit on one side of a piece of paper with extra content on the back.
Okay.
Nice.
Who knows? I might just make a one-page version of Boombox since I haven't finished the bigger version yet. A lot of the things that go into the game are just lists of things that don't have to go on the page. So one of the things
that could be a line, make a list.
Because one of the things it's based around battling with music, so there's a lot of lists of songs and stuff like that. Don't have to put it in there.
Right.
Who knows? Or maybe I'll go with something completely different. But I want to do something.
That's cool.
So,
I mean, look, you did the Lucky 13 or Top Secret one page, right? You could rework that and you basically use that for the most part with like maybe a little bit of reworking, maybe the dungeon game you were talking about, and then put your extra content on the back.
It's not a bad idea to see if we could boil Top Secret down to a one-page jam.
That might be neat.
And just say, we could have only the Lucky 13 and nothing else. Just everything could be that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a good idea. And well, here's the thing. So there's no restrictions on this contest. You can enter as many times as you want. You can make as many as you want. You can team up with people. You can not team up with people, whatever you want to do. The only thing you need to do is sign up at itch.io because it's sponsored by them. And they've got a Discord. And so, I don't think this is a competitive thing. I don't even think there's any competition involved. I don't think there's a winner.
Right.
I think this is literally, let's have fun making games. It's kind of like NaNoWriMo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back when it existed.
Yeah.
Ha.
No one beats anyone else. There are only people who win or lose, and you only lose if you don't finish.
Yes. Yeah. So, do it.
That sounds cool. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Next one. All right. So the D&D in a Castle organizer is launching D&D Dungeon Master University. This ain't for me. I'm just gonna be honest. This is not for me. This is a little cringy. This is a little pick me energy, honestly. D&D in a Castle already has some of that. Let's go spend a ridiculous amount of money to have a luxury vacation. And these are the sort of people who say math rocks unironically. But it's still cool sounding, and so they do this regularly. They rent out a castle that you can rent out. That happens. And they play D&D there and, charge a lot of money. And it's kind of similar to going on like a nerd cruise. That's not a bad idea. So now they have this thing called Dungeon Master University to help dungeon masters improve their skills at Oglethorpe University in Atlanta. It's an officially licensed event. So they have Wizards' blessing on this whole thing. They're using the logo, all that kind of stuff. And they say they're going to be bringing in acclaimed dungeon masters. First of all, shut up. There's no acclaimed dungeon. We talked about this.
I know. We talked about this so many times.
An acclaimed dungeon master is whoever I like playing with.
Yeah, exactly. I have played. Look, I'm not going to name any names, but I have played with dungeon masters that are special, and some of them were some of the worst games I've ever played.
Yeah, yeah. So don't be acclaimed. Be good. How about that? Be good. How about instead of being acclaimed, be good?
Right.
Industry professionals and seasoned storytellers to run the various sessions. But you know what? You got to do it. Boy, I'm just coming across so grumpy this week. I'm just cynical. But anyway, but some of this is good. So they're doing 4 tracks. They are over a 2-day period. There's skill building, campaign building, world building, and I'm going to say the names on the world building. Go learn from these guys. Know what they're doing. Keith Baker and Monty Cook. Yeah,
you're gonna learn something there.
Yeah, you are, because these proven good world builders. I agree with that. Career building. Explore the. Oh God, can't I say these words? Can I get these words to come out of my mouth? Explore the business of dungeon mastering with advice from professional DMs, streamers, writers, and content creators.
Hey, Scott, you are an acclaimed administrator. We say so.
Yes. And actually, so Benavides in here says, I claim to be acclaimed. But you know what? That's what I'm talking about. David Benavides is a very good GM.
Yeah.
I don't care if David Benavides has got a Twitch stream with 4 million followers. If I have a choice of playing with, I know who you're talking about, Peter, or with David, I'm going to play with David.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, the world building, that's going to be really cool. Keith Baker and Monty Cook. David says I DM for food. Sorry, I don't bring food. It's too much for me. But the career building, all right, let me back up on that a little bit. There are some very legitimate ways to DM professionally. A friend of mine, I've talked about him before. He's been on the show, Gabe Garner. He runs a D&D after school program for kids. That's legit. Yeah. So some of it's pretty legit. I mean,
I did look at the career building as well, and it's not just, see, I know this note says dungeon mastering and stuff, but I went to the website and did a little more digging. It did mention something else about like how to make product, get it published and into stores. So that's kind of got some value to it. And I looked up the Clint McElroy and Eliza Teague, and they do. I mean, when I was looking at them, like,
they're all good.
They probably know what they're talking about. So
okay,
so that could be helpful.
So skill building, we have B. Dave Walters and Mike Tinney. Campaign building, Kelly Lynn D'Angelo and Amanda Hammond. Sorry. Career building, Clint McElroy, Elisa Teague. These are all good people. They are. So I'm not. Yeah, no, I think they're all excellent people to learn from. But here's the problem.
Yeah, here it comes.
If you ever do, okay, so I just did some corporate training that I needed to do for my day job. I'm not going to get into it, but it was a good class, and I really leveled up some very professional level skills. It cost me $700, and it's the kind of thing I need for my career. And you always need to be growing. Really good stuff. And with the kind of class I paid $700 for, it was for a career that I used to pay my mortgage. And when you price things in the $700 range, you're expecting that the company's paying for it. That's why things get priced, from $700, $1,000, even $2,000 to go to something really important. When you do a thing on a personal level, then you're going something like, I don't know, what's Udemy or any of those. I expect to pay $50.
Right.
I expect to even pay $100 if it's really good. And if this is going to be something run in person over 2 days, then I'm going to maybe expect to pay $200.
Yeah, $250 maybe.
$250. Yes, because you know what? They've got to rent the space. I get it. Okay, I'll pay a couple $100. Let's talk about what the cheapest tier is. The silver tier. You want to say the number?
Yeah, $995.
$995 gets you access to the seminars, meals on site, train tickets from the hotel to the university, and access to the evening game labs if space is available. So that's what you get for $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go to the gold tier. There's only
50
100 available.
$1,500.
1,500. So you get premium access to the evening game labs. So you basically get first come, first serve. Well, you're first come.
Mm-hmm.
You get a 1 office hour appointment. It's actually not an office hour appointment. It's a half hour. So you get 1 half-hour appointment, a one-on-one session with a course or seminar faculty member. Okay, I mean, logistically, that makes sense. We got 2, 4, 6, 8 faculty members. You've got 100 slots. So that means that, can anybody do the math? What's 100 divided by 8? It's something, right?
It's a little over 10, like 11, 12.
Yeah. So you've got 12 and a half, right? So you've got each, theoretically, if this worked out perfectly, each one of the instructors has to spend 6 hours doing 6.5 hours doing office hours over the 2-day period. So I get it. That's how much they can. Okay, fine. You also, for that $1,500, get admission to the VIP welcome reception. Who's so VIP about this? And then you get a welcome gift pack, which includes a backpack, and it says $250 value. It says
what the hell's that backpack made out of?
It's not a $250. Look,
I was gonna say
I got the inside skinny on the swag world. That's what my wife does for a living. That ain't no $250 backpack. It might, there might be one that sells for $250 in a store somewhere, but they're getting it for $30.
Brian says they better be serving a unicorn dinner for that price.
But that's the gold tier. We haven't even stopped. So that's what you get for the gold tier. Premium you get first come, first serve. You get a half an hour to talk to somebody. You get to go to a room where you get to tell people you're a VIP, and you get a backpack.
Right.
But there's another tier.
Oh yeah. But wait, there's more.
The platinum tier.
Yeah.
How much?
$2,250.
$2,250. I didn't pay that much for my Fiero.
Right.
All right. I mean, admittedly, it doesn't run, but
Right.
it was still cheaper than that. You get 1 office hour appointment. So before we had the 30-minute, now you get 1 office hour appointment with premium access to office hour signups. First choice access on signing up for one specific 30-minute session with one specific faculty member. So I think I see how they're doing this. The premium tier, 32 people get to pick a 30-minute session with whoever they want to go to. So the math works out pretty well there. You got an hour for each person. And then whatever's left over, they probably just say, well, you get a 30-hour meeting, and we're going to tell you who you get to meet. You can probably rank who you want to, but we're going to tell you because logistics.
Right.
Okay. Platinum tier also gets a game audit. Run 1 game during game labs for 5 players, plus 1 faculty member as a player who will play in your game and give you professional notes and coaching afterwards. That's really good. That is really good. I would expect this to be for everybody. This is freaking table stakes. And then you also get a welcome gift pack, which includes your own varsity jacket, which is worth less than the backpack. It's only worth $175.
So hold on, but I'm just trying to think of the logistics here. So you actually have 132 office hours, right?
Well, yes, that's right.
Right.
So
that's
that's
132, and then
60.
those same people have to sit in 32 games.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another couple hours per.
Well, I mean, I figure it's got to be a minimum of 2 hours.
Right. So 2 hours times 32, right? 64, another 64 hours divided by 8 people. I mean, that's like 8 hours a person. Are they going to have time to do all this?
Well, I think that's the deal, is that they're kind of expected to, right? Because people are paying a lot of money to come to this. I'm assuming the people that are teaching it are getting compensated properly for it.
I would hope so. I was doing some math, and
so let's see. Just for the platinum, for the top tiers, for the gold and platinum tier, you got $222,000.
Yep.
And then let's say, I don't know, let's say another 100 people, or let's say 200 people come to the rest. So that's another $200,000. So they're going to be pulling in somewhere close to $500,000 for this weekend. And with that money, they've got to rent the space. We've been putting together our convention for next year. We know that's not cheap, but when you got $500,000, you can probably find money for that.
Yeah.
You've got 2, 4, 6, 8 people who are being compensated. I'm going to just make up a number here and say they're going to get $5,000 for the weekend.
Okay. That sounds fair. That's only 40,000.
That's 40 grand.
Yeah.
And then of course you have to pay for those backpacks and those varsity jackets. But this is a moneymaker.
Yeah.
This is a moneymaker. Somebody is walking away with enough money to buy my house.
So so here's my problem with the whole thing. Like my big problem with the whole thing. It's the same one that in a lot of ways the same one that you have. In that it's just so like bougie, you know, like the only people who can go to this are people with like really like a lot of disposable income. I can't afford. I could not justify setting money aside to go to something like this. There's no way. And I make good money. I make really good money.
$2,250 to go learn how to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Right. How do you
justify expensive after all?
Right. And then we haven't even talked about the fact that you haven't even paid for your hotel yet. That's another $160 a night.
To be fair, that's a pretty good rate. $159.
That's a good rate. It's a good rate because it's in Atlanta, and I know where that is. I know where that area is. It's near where they do Dragon Con.
Yeah, they get a good rate.
Yes, they got a good rate.
You know, and I'll tell you, the people who are, to your point, as you mentioned before, the 8 people who are running these tracks over those 2 days, they're going to be working hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that is some work. And I just made up the numbers. Who knows what they're getting paid? I'm not saying that's what they're getting paid, right? But in the chat, Linda the Gamer Gal says, "I will just use Start Playing. It's cheaper."
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Is that an online course or something?
I don't know, but whatever it is.
Well, there should be things like that, because when I got back into playing D&D, after I guess I stopped playing sometime around 98 or so, and it was probably at least 10 years before I got back into playing. I had like a 10-year period where I didn't play at all. And the first thing that I asked was, I don't remember how to DM. I just didn't remember how, you know, I mean, I remembered how, but I just didn't feel confident. And I went looking for videos of people playing and just show me somebody DMing. There was none of that in 2008. There just
now you can't get enough of it.
Yeah. So I think it's great that all that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
And Linda says, Start Playing is a website to find a group to play, learn a new game, or learn how to DM.
Nice.
That sounds awesome. I'm fully into that. There should be lots of that stuff. You know, if somebody's got $2,500 to spend plus airfare going to do this thing, and they want to do that for a couple of days, that's awesome. Have a good time. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun, you know? But I don't know. It's just like you said, it's bougie.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody out there has their own company making a lot of money, you know, like $500,000 a year. Go to this thing, have a good time.
Yeah. And then hire me for whatever you're doing with your $500,000 salaries.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, it exists. So, you know,
spend money. All right. Here we go. Last one. Sorry to end on a bad note, y'all, but Eberron.
Yes.
All right. Is this mine or yours?
Yeah, it's yours. Why don't you do the story?
All right. So Eberron, Forge the Artificer is delayed until December. So this was originally scheduled to be released next month, but they had a problem. They got books in, and there was a cover defect. There was warping that was discovered on the covers of the published books. So they had to send them back and have them redone, and that's going to take time. So their new date is December 9th, 2025.
Yeah. So, I mean, not too bad. It was supposed to be August. That pushes it back, what, 4 months, 3 months?
Yeah, about 4 months.
Well, you know, that tells you a lot about what the production cycle's like for them now. Now we know.
Yeah. But now To be fair, they're being cool about this. They owned it. You know, they said, "Hey, this is what happened." They told everybody.
Yeah.
Gave everybody a new date and pre-order bonus. All pre-orders, digital or physical, will include a bonus mini adventure for Eberron as a gesture of appreciation for the delay.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's nice. Yeah. So bummer that it's late, but good for them for actually having some quality control. Making sure that they don't send a bunch of skills. I mean, some companies would just send the crap out.
Yeah, they would send out, say, "Oh, that's how
it's supposed to be."
Yeah.
It's because there's a powerful wizards inside the book, and he warped your cover.
Well, it's part of the design. It's artificer. It's an artifact. You know,
we'll see now because they're going to destroy that run of books that were damaged. Whoever can grab a few of those before they get destroyed and put them in a box for the next 10 years, you'll have a valuable misprint.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
And people will be like, I paid an extra $500 because it has the warped cover.
Yeah, it's the warped cover.
Yeah.
Which everybody would have been bitching about if they'd have gotten it.
Yeah, they'll be like, I got the warped cover. I'm so cool. So anyway, wow, this was a negative Nancy kind of a week, but it was still fun stuff. There's still a lot of fun stuff going on. And it was fun to talk about. So we will be in the Discord in a few minutes.
Yeah.
You can come over if you are a Patreon member. And a little bit of a sneak peek. I think next week we're going to start talking about some new groups that we're setting up on Facebook so that people can get a little bit more chance to hang out and talk. I realized that we never had a proper Solarian group, only a page. So we'll do some stuff like that.
Okay.
In the meantime, if you are a podcast listener, please leave us a review. And that helps a lot. And if you are watching us on YouTube, I've realized that it helps a lot if people actually subscribe to us. It gets us boosted in the visibility. So if you're enjoying the show and it doesn't cost you anything, it's not subscribe doesn't mean anything. It just means press the little button, hit subscribe, boost our subscriber count, get us in front of more people, tell your friends. We would like to have more people show up. It's so nice to see everybody in the chat. It just makes me feel good every week. So thank you.
Yeah. All right, everybody.